Hello everyone. In this section, we are going to learn how to provision desktops using Amazon Workspaces. This is an introduction to the section. So, let's first start by a simple definition of what AWS Workspaces are. It is a service that enables you to connect to your private VPC through a jump server, much better known as a desktop. So, why would you need that? Simply because you don't want to make your environment public. Imagine that you have an application that is hosted on a private VPC on AWS, and you want your engineers or your developers to access this environment, but you want to restrict access to only those people. So, you will create a private VPC for your application, and a public VPC for the jump server or the desktop, then a directory service for user management where you can add or remove users who are allowed to access your application, and you can also connect your existing Active Directory service where your existing users are stored to that service. So that's exactly what AWS Workspaces does for you. Now let's see what we are going to cover in this section. First, we are going to create a directory service and add users to it. Then we are going to create the workspace and we are going to connect that with the directory service that we have just created. Also, we are going to build a jump server in the workspace to enable people to use it to access the private VPC. Finally, we are going to have some tips and tricks about how to reboot, rebuild, and create a custom image of the workspace. In this video, we are going to walk our first steps in preparing to provision cloud desktops using Amazon Workspaces. So in order to create an Amazon Workspace, you'll first need to fulfill some prerequisites. So first, we will need to create an elastic IP address, because this is going to be associated with your workspace. This can be created from the EC2 instances console. So from the Amazon AWS Management Console, I'm going to click on EC2, get inside the EC2 instances console, and from the left-hand side, I'm going to have a look at elastic IPs under Network and Security. Click on that, and I'm going to allocate a new address. Leave everything at the default, and I'm going to click Allocate. Take note of this public IP address, so I'm going to copy it in case we need it later, and then I'm going to close this window. So now I have my elastic IP address available for me. The second step that I need to do is to create one public and two private subnets in a new VPC. The best way to do this is to use the wizard. So I'm going to go to Services, click on VPC, and I'm going to click on Launch Vbc Wizard. And I'm going to choose the second option, VPC with public and private subnets. Select that, and I'm going to leave the CIDR blocks at their defaults. If you want to change them, of course, you can do that. I'm okay with this range and this one. I'm going to have to give a name to this VPC. Let's call it Demo Workspace VPC. And in the Elastic IP Allocation ID, I'm going to select the IP address that I have just created a few moments ago. And optionally, you can rename this private subnet. So I can say private subnet 1 for demo VPC. Click Create VPC. It's going to take a few seconds. Okay, and now the VPC has been successfully created. Let's go to your VPCs at the left. I'm going to see that I have demo workspace created for me. Now I need to create a new subnet because I will need two subnets for the setup to work correctly. The wizard has created only one subnet privately for me and the other one is public. I will need to create a third one that is private. So I'm going to go to the subnets at the left, click Create Subnet. The name tag can be private subnet 2 for demo or for demo VPC. And I'm going to choose the VPC here from this drop-down list. I'm going to choose Demo VPC that I have just created. And notice here that the availability zone cannot be the same as the availability zone of the subnet that we have already created. So let's cancel this and have a look at the availability zone of the private subnet that we have just created. At the bottom, you can see that it's in US West 2A. So when I create a new subnet, here it has to be in another availability zone. So let's choose US West 2B. Again, I'm gonna type the name. Okay, and the CIDR block I can choose 10.0.2.0 /24, and I'm going to click Create. Okay, now the subnet has been created. Now you will need to have a look at some important aspects of those subnets and ensure that they are available. Now we have private subnet here for demo VPC. If I go to the route table, I'm going to see that I have two routes. The first is the default one that is created. The second one here, however, instructs anything that is not intended to be in this VPC to go to the NAT. The second one will also have the same route table with similar options. We have the local one by default and the second one that directs to NAT. And the public subnet here that was created for us, notice here that it has a different route. It does have the first default one, the local, but the second one has a target that points to an internet gateway. This enables this public subnet to be public, to be accessible from the internet. Those routing rules need to be inside your subnets. You need to ensure that they are and that they were created by the wizard. If they were not for any reason, or if you are creating your own subnets while not using the wizard, you will need to ensure that those routes are available. So now we have the prerequisites that are required for creating our directory service and our AWS workspace.